Hello, and welcome back to Next Generation.
We're going to be taking a look at the 29th edition of Nintendo Power, which features Star Trek for the NES on the cover.
In addition to Star Trek, we're going to take a look at Shatterhand, and also we're going to be taking a look at another Super Nintendo game, F-Zero. Let's jump right in. So we're taking a look at F-Zero for the Super Nintendo. This is the second SNES game we've taken a look at. It was one of the original launch titles. Uses the Mode 7 feature of the Super Nintendo, which is how they do the kind of 3D rotating view of the map. You see the same effect in Super Mario Kart. What did you think about F-Zero, Laurel?
I don't play a bunch of racing games. Obviously, I played the Super Mario Kart games growing up. I wasn't amazing at them, but other than that, I haven't had a lot of experience with racing games. But I really enjoyed this one, even though I don't play them a lot.
So one big thing with the F-Zero series was the sense of speed. A big thing they try to do is make the motion feel as fast as they can, whereas something like Mario Kart is a little more slow-paced and using items.
Right.
This one is a lot more focused on exact timing of your turns, and
right.
There's a little bit of the battling aspect and like bumping off other cars and like trying not to get damaged by the edges of the track. There's obstacles. You'll see these kind of like black dotted areas which are supposed to be kind of like a magnetic, almost like the mud is in Mario Kart. Like a thing that just slows you down if you go over that area. Another big strategy thing is the recharge points.
Yeah, that's important to know.
But generally, you can't recharge even like a quarter of your tank on a lap.
Right.
So
you really have to be careful.
It's just enough to kind of keep you safe if you're getting too low, but not enough to where without maybe, I guess, stopping, really slowing down in the recharge area, you might be able to recharge more. But generally, when playing, I would just kind of zoom through it and get as much as I could. And I think you got up to, what was it, the third track?
I did. And then I almost ran out of my power, which was very nerve-wracking. Like, I almost didn't make it to the finish line, but...
And then they start doing the thing in the later levels also of having a limit of what place you need to be to continue. So each lap, they would lower that number. And then one other thing, of course, is the boosts. So you get one speed boost.
Right, that's nice.
Per lap, so you have to kind of strategically watch where you are on the map, find a good straightaway, and use your boost there.
The turns were difficult, especially like the first few times you did them, but
yeah, so it had the L and R buttons were kind of
they were.
I think they call it like a magnetic grip. I'd have to go back and look at the manual, but it's a kind of a way to get a sharper turn.
Yeah.
By hitting that L or R button for the direction you're turning.
Yeah. I did actually recognize this game because it has a track that's in, I don't know which.
Smash Brothers?
I think there's also one for Super Smash. But,
Smash Brother maps was it?
I think it's in the Mario Kart for Switch. There's a racing track. And I was always wondering what the side thingies were for, because they have the power-up stations in the Mario Kart game, but they just give you coins.
Yeah.
So I was always kind of wondering what they did in the original game. So now I know.
Next we have Star Trek on the NES. This is one that I probably had heard of, but I've never actually seen or played. Watched the Star Trek original series a lot growing up, so I'm familiar with the characters, and kind of covers Captain Kirk controlling the ship and the various different team members giving you different information about different parts of the ship, communicating with other ships. It seems like it did a pretty good job of kind of bringing that experience in. What did you think about this one, Laurel?
I haven't seen the original Star Trek. I think I've only seen the first 3 episodes. So I can't really say how well it did at, like, bringing that feeling or, like, the original Star Trek into a game. I can say that I really enjoyed it and that it was a pretty good game for the NES.
One thing on that note that I definitely noticed right off the bat was going once you beam down to the planet, they were bringing in theme songs that I had remembered from the episodes. So that was pretty cool that it wasn't just generic NES chiptune music that they threw in. There's actually, they tried to bring the actual songs that you remember from the various episodes into some of the levels. So it's kind of an RPG, like you start on the ship, but you can talk to the various people to kind of get more information, and then you beam down to planets, and then it's almost like a top-down role-playing exploration. Yeah. It actually reminded me a bit of like something like Crystalis or Willow.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of top-down like adventure RPGs.
Yeah. And it reminded me a little bit of some of the Zelda games too.
So you're kind of going around the map, going into little villages or town areas, talking to people, getting clues. It's not one contiguous map because you're kind of going planet to planet.
Yeah.
But within each planet, there might be different areas and different enemies and things you're encountering on the planet, and having to do some puzzle solving. Maybe getting items that allow you to enter other areas.
Like, I think you had to get, I can't remember what it was called, but I think it was a repellent, so that, like, you have to pass through this area with a bunch of worms to get to the temple. But I think without that repellent, you would have gotten attacked by them. But they kind of just moved away from you when you got the repellent from the guy in the village.
So kind of just following through, talking to different people, progressing through the different areas. It sounded like there was definitely a number of worlds. We only went to the first one, but was interesting enough that I might actually go back and play through and try my hand at exploring the galaxy as Captain Kirk and the crew of the Enterprise. And then we have Shatterhand, released by Jaleco in 1991. This is another side platformer. It reminds me a lot of Power Blade and also Vice Project Doom. Actually, quite a few of the games we've covered are this kind of like fighting in like a futuristic industrial setting, and you're some sort of semi-robotic cyborg character. This one I think is really well done. The story's fairly kind of generic. You're fighting against some like a cyborg army or something, and you're part of some government group that's trying to ward them off. One thing that I thought was really cool was the power-up system.
Yeah, I really liked the power-up system. At first we thought that, like while we were playing through the game, we thought that you had to match the letters. But it turns out that you can actually have a bunch of different combinations, and each of them gives you a different kind of robot that does different things, which is awesome. I believe that I got the grenade bot.
And you can cycle through the 2 different letters. The really unique thing was that you have to get 3 of those power-up letters.
Yeah, and you can do it in different orders, and then you get...
Yeah, so there's like, I think a B and an L, and then so you could do, BBB, BBL, BLB, whatever the combination was, would give you different power-up robots that could help you on your mission.
Right.
It had some interesting things with like clinging on the fence in the level,
right,
which we've seen before, but I thought it was pretty well done here. Overall, like the animation seems pretty well done.
Yeah.
The artwork was really cool, and it did a little bit of the kind of what we expect at this point in the NES life cycle with the kind of cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah, it didn't give a lot of exposition. Like it gave a little Like, it did have a cutscene in the very beginning in the intro, but it didn't explain.
There was no
what
words or anything, which was kind of interesting. Like, it's just kind of just jumping you right into the action.
Right.
I thought it was cool that they gave you kind of a level select after you beat the first level. Gives it a little bit of variety, and kind of an interesting contrast from Mega Man, where you could pick right at the beginning, whereas this one you beat the first level, then you can pick a path. And I guess some other ones did that, where even like Bionic Commando, I remember, had you'd beat the level and then there was sort of the map where you could pick different things on the map. But yeah, just how it was done in this was pretty cool. Kind of your guy standing there on a platform with these like TV screens of different levels there in front of him, and selecting what level you wanted to tackle next.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Next Generation.
If you like this episode, remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.